Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello and welcome. I am Taylor. I share these What's for Dinner videos every Sunday to hopefully give you guys some meal ideas and motivation to cook more for your family. This, I think, is going to be my longest What's for Dinner ever. It's over 30 minutes long. I'm sorry. Some of you like it when it's really long. I feel like some of you probably don't. 30 minutes is quite a long time, but I feel like I'm sharing some good stuff with y'all this week, so I do hope that you will watch the whole thing. As always, any recipes that I mention will be linked down below. Now let's go ahead and get into this week's dinners.
Hey guys,
What are we having for dinner?
5 sandwiches.
What kind of sandwiches?
Some of those.
Sloppy Joe's. This is the Pioneer Woman Sloppy Joe recipe. If you haven't tried it, you definitely should because it's delicious. Do you think it's delicious?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is mine. It's just the Sloppy Joe mixture, and then I made some seasoned fries from Walmart, and then the kids have American cheese on there. It's kind of hard to see it. And I didn't put Andy's on there because I don't know if he wants cheese or not. I pulled out the sharp cheddar for him, but I don't know if he wants it. But I will definitely leave the Pioneer Woman recipe for the Sloppy Joes down below. I do leave out the onions and the green pepper just because it makes it easier that way. And yeah, that's going to be dinner for Friday. It is Saturday, and tonight for dinner we are having pizza pasta. I have shared this recipe many times over like the last almost year, I think. This comes from Mandy at The Kitchen Wife. She has a YouTube channel. She also has an Instagram. But this is really, really good. And it comes from her. I think she has a blog as well. I will leave the recipe linked down below because if you haven't tried it, you definitely should. It is so good. It does use sausage, but I know some people don't really like ground sausage. I definitely think you could do beef for this if you wanted to. Just might want to add like some more seasonings, like salt and pepper and stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and brown up this pork with some salt and pepper and Italian seasoning. And then I have already made my noodles in the Instant Pot. On her recipe, she has directions for cooking it in the Instant Pot, and it just makes it so easy. It took 10 minutes to make an entire box of rotini, no standing over and babysitting it, so that's why I really like doing that. But I'm going to go ahead and get this browned up. Okay, my sausage is pretty much cooked all the way through. If I had green pepper, or I like to cut up those like little mini sweet peppers, and that's what I like to put in here. Walmart didn't have any of those, so I opted to just skip the pepper this time because green pepper is not my favorite. So I just skipped the pepper. But if I was going to do that, I'd add that in here and cook it until it was pretty much soft. But since we're not doing that, I'm going to go ahead and add in my pepperoni. She says to use a whole package of pepperoni and quarter them, but leave some because you're going to top this and put it in you're going to top this with pepperoni and put it in the broiler. I don't have the size, I just have this big giant bag of pepperoni, so I just chopped up what I thought was a good amount. If you were going to do like other toppings, I think you could do some other stuff in this too, like maybe like some olives or something, but my family doesn't like those. If you like mushrooms, I think now would be a good time to add those if you wanted to really like do all kinds of pizza toppings. So I'm gonna stir this around for 2 to 3 minutes, just to kind of warm up those pepperonis and crisp them up a little bit, and then we will finish it up before we get it in the oven under the broiler. Okay, now I'm going to add a jar of pizza sauce, and then I'm going to fill this up halfway with water, add that in, add in my noodles, mix everything up really well, and then I'm going to top it with a good layer of cheese and some pepperoni that hasn't been cut up, and then stick this in my oven under the broiler for a couple minutes to get it all nice and bubbly and brown. Okay, dinner is done. Here is my plate. I've got the pizza pasta and then some salad. This is mostly spinach with some romaine on top and then some cucumber, ranch dressing, and lots of pepper. Elijah's plate looks pretty much the same, and then Lily just has cucumbers. And I realized mid-making this that we are having pizza for lunch tomorrow at Andy's grandmother's house. So we're going to have lots of pizza flavored stuff the next few days. But that is going to be dinner for Saturday. It is Sunday, and tonight for dinner we're going to be doing some chicken burritos. So I am putting some chicken breasts in the crock pot this morning. I was just going to do 3, which is what this is, 3 frozen breasts over here. But I decided to add this other one because I had one just frozen by itself in the freezer. And I'm going to be using leftovers of this to make another dinner later in the week. I'm going to be using the shredded chicken. So I don't think we can have too much. We'll just, if we do have too much chicken, I can always just freeze the cooked chicken. So in here I have about 1/4 of a cup of this taco seasoning from Sam's Club. You could just use 1 seasoning packet. And then I decided I wanted some liquid in the bottom. So what I have in there is a cup of water. And then I did 1/2 teaspoon of this tomato bouillon and 1/2 teaspoon of this chicken bouillon. You could just do 1 cup of chicken broth, or you could even just do water. But that is what that's looking like. I'm going to cook it on high because it is frozen, and I will be back later to show you what it looks like. Okay, here is the finished chicken. I went ahead and shredded it up probably about 2 hours ago. Yeah, this cooked on high for 5 hours, and then it was completely done. So I shredded it and turned it down to warm, and it's just been sitting on warm for the last 2 hours. To shred it, I just used, you're gonna see my dirty sink, this little meat chopper thing. It works really well to shred chicken if it's cooked really well, really long. It's slow cooked. It shreds easily, so that works really well. You don't only have to use it for ground beef. So we've got the chicken that's seasoned with that taco seasoning stuff that I showed you earlier. I made some Spanish rice. This is an Instant Pot recipe. I know some of y'all tell me you like when I do other recipes, but this rice is so good. I don't want another Spanish rice, Mexican rice recipe. It's that good. I think she does have another stovetop Spanish rice recipe on her blog, so I will try to link that down below as well. I haven't tried that one, but if this one is this good, I'm sure her stovetop version is good too. And then we've got some black beans, and I'm going to be putting together some burritos. So I've got a little bit of lettuce, some tomatoes, sour cream, salsa, maybe some of this taco sauce, some cheese, and burrito size flour tortillas for Andy and I, and the kids will just do regular size flour tortillas. But I'm about to go ahead and put those together. It is Monday, and tonight for dinner we are having a Hellofresh recipe. I bought all this stuff myself today. I did get Hellofresh. I feel like it was back in 2018 that I got Hellofresh. I feel like it's been that long since I actually got any Hellofresh boxes. But they had sent me this meal when I got it. It was Tuscan spiced shrimp and orzo, and I loved it so much. I feel like I went out and made it the next week because it was so good. And I can't remember if I made it again since then, but I had this in my recipe book and it really, really looked and sounded delicious. So I decided to make it again. So I kind of wrote out all of the ingredients because while I do like their cards and their step-by-step instructions, just the way the ingredients are listed out when you're trying to make it yourself is kind of all over the place. So for this, I'm going to need 4 Roma tomatoes, which I've got over here. I'm going to be cutting those and roasting them in the oven. Then we've got 2 lemons. And one of the things that it calls for is 2 tablespoons of Tuscan seasoning. And I found a website, I think it was actually a Reddit thread, that has a list of all of the, maybe not all of them, but a lot of the HelloFresh seasoning blends. And so I wrote down everything that they said was in it. 4 parts basil, 2 parts rosemary, 2 parts oregano, 2 parts garlic, 1 part cayenne, and 1 part ground fennel. But I'm not going to use the ground fennel because I couldn't find it. So I'm just going to do 2 teaspoons of basil, 1 teaspoon of rosemary, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of garlic, and half a teaspoon of cayenne, and mix that all together. And that will be a little less than 2 tablespoons because I'm missing the fennel. But that is what I'm going to do for that. And then we've got a pound of shrimp. They call for 20 ounces, but I always just do a pound, which is 16 ounces. I'm going to use some oil and some salt and pepper and some butter. And then I've got some scallions, or whatever you want to call them, green onions. Some panko. I've got half a cup of that. 12 ounces of orzo pasta. And then they have chicken stock concentrate, which is another thing that I found on that Reddit thread. They said that 1 packet of chicken stock concentrate is like using 1 chicken bouillon cube. So I'm going to be using this chicken base instead of chicken bouillon cubes. And then I think that is it for the Tuscan spiced shrimp and orzo. But to go with it, I'm going to be making some zucchini on the side. And I'm just going to season that with the Badia Complete and the Tony's Creole seasoning. But I'm going to go ahead and get started on this because I've got some things to cut up. But this is a fairly quick meal because shrimp cooks really fast. So to start off, I'm going to make my seasoning blend. As I said, it's got the basil, the oregano, the garlic powder, the rosemary, and the cayenne. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and prep all my produce. For my tomatoes, I'm going to quarter them this way, so long ways, cut in half, and then cut them in half again. And then those are going to go on the pan, I think with some olive oil and seasoning to be roasted. I'm going to zest my lemons till I have about 4 teaspoons of the zest, and then I'm going to slice these into wedges. I'm going to thinly slice my scallions, the white part and the green part, but I'm going to keep them separate. And then I'm going to just slice my zucchini into semi-thick slices. I know I said I was going to roast these tomatoes. I can't remember if I said that I did preheat my oven to 425. So to season these, I'm going to coat them with a drizzle of olive oil, 2 teaspoons of that spice blend that we made, and then some salt and pepper. And then these are going to roast in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes until they are softened. By the time these are done, everything else will be done, and then these just go on top of the orzo and shrimp. Okay, now I've got my fairly large skillet, got it over high heat. I'm going to use this for everything. I'm going to toast the panko in it right now, and then I will use it to cook the orzo, and then once you drain the orzo, I will also use this pan to cook the shrimp. So it makes it so you don't use as many dishes. But I do have half a cup of panko here that I'm just going to pour into this pan that I said is on high. To that, I'm going to add another 2 teaspoons of that seasoning mix and some salt and pepper, and I'm just gonna stir this around till the panko gets kind of like brown and toasted. Okay, I turned my heat down to medium high. I'm going to add in a drizzle of olive oil and then add in my orzo and just toast that for just a few minutes. I think it's like 1 to 2 minutes. And then once it is toasted, I will be adding in some salted water and cooking the orzo until it is al dente. Okay, orzo has been drained. I did reserve some of the pasta water. I got my pan back over medium-high heat. To that, I'm going to add a drizzle of oil and 2 tablespoons of butter. And then I'm going to add my shrimp with some salt and pepper, the remaining seasoning blends, and the white parts of the scallions or green onions, whatever you want to call it. And then I'm going to cook all of that until the shrimp is no longer pink and it's cooked through. Okay, shrimp is looking pretty much done, so now it's time to add back in the orzo. So I'm going to add in the orzo, about a cup of the pasta water. I'm going to add in about 2 teaspoons of this chicken base and a little bit of lemon juice. And then I'm just going to let that simmer until the liquid has reduced a little bit. So everything is done. I showed y'all the tomatoes. They're over there. I probably should have only made 3 tomatoes because I wasn't thinking like Elijah's not going to eat the tomatoes. And basically it's 1 tomato per person because this is supposed to be 4 servings because that's how Hellofresh works. It's like 2 or 4. But one, my kids are small, so they eat like half of an adult portion. So like they're like 1 person. So we're always going to have leftovers. But like I said, Elijah also doesn't eat tomatoes. So I probably didn't need to make 4. But this is what's left in the pan after I've made the kids a nice plate. I don't expect them to eat any more because it is pretty filling. But I mean, they can always have more if they want more. But there's plenty for Andy and probably lunch tomorrow. And then we've got the zucchini, as I said. So to plate this up, we've got the shrimp and orzo on the bottom. And then my tomatoes. And then I topped it with some of the panko that we toasted up. And then we've got our green onions up there. And some lemon to squeeze on top. And then I've got my zucchini. And so here's Lily's plate. I put her tomato on the side just in case she doesn't want it on top. And then Elijah asked for some salad with his since he does not like cooked zucchini. But that is going to be dinner. I don't remember if I mentioned at the beginning, you do not have to pay for HelloFresh to look at the recipes. You can just go on there and browse and look at the recipes. I'm trying another one this week that I've never tried before, but I just found the recipe You can print it out. Anybody can print them out and view them. It's super easy. You might have to have a HelloFresh account, but literally that's just like your email address, and then you log in and look at the recipes. But I'm not even sure if you have to have that to look at the recipes. But I really enjoy everything that I've ever tried from them. This is not sponsored, as I said before. I bought this stuff, but I would definitely recommend checking out their recipes, even if you don't want to buy their boxes. I know that you can buy everything that they ship you for way cheaper. It's just all about convenience, but they do have really, really tasty recipes. I would definitely recommend looking at that one, especially this one in particular. It's so good. But as I said, that is going to be dinner for Monday. It is Tuesday, and tonight for dinner we are trying a new recipe that's made all in the Instant Pot. So this is called Instant Pot Cheesy Ground Beef and Rice. I will of course have the recipe link down below. For this, I've got some butter in here. It says to put some butter in there and turn it on saute. I've got a pound of ground beef that we're going to brown. And then I've got chicken broth, but I'm actually going to do 10.5 ounces of water and the chicken bouillon. And then we're going to need some milk, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, 2 cups of long grain white rice, some tomato soup, and I actually only need half of this because I ordered the small can, but they gave me the big can, so I'm just going to put the other half in a jar in the fridge and probably use it for like grilled cheese and tomato soup tomorrow for lunch. And then it calls for an 8.75 ounce can of corn, but I just have regular size can of corn, so I'm going to use about half of that, and then we will need some cheese at the end. So this is done. It cooked for 7 minutes on high pressure, and then I did a quick release. So let's open it up, see what it looks like. All right, we're gonna stir this, and then we are supposed to add in cheese. So it calls for 2 cups of cheese. So I've been getting questions a lot lately on how I grate my cheese, and I do use my KitchenAid. I think you can see that. Yeah. So this attachment on the KitchenAid is in my Amazon store. I love it. I have only bought pre-shredded cheese a couple times since I got this. I just prefer grating it myself. So over here I just grated 32 ounces of cheddar cheese.
I love cheese.
And then I will just store this in a Ziploc bag. I really want to get some of these reusable bags. I have these ones, but this is a small one. This is mozzarella cheese because I'm going to do mozzarella and cheddar. It says 2 cups of a mozzarella cheddar blend. But I need the gallon size bag for when I shred this much cheese. This was like 16 ounces of cheese, and then I used some, so this is what was left. I really do like these bags. They are not dishwasher safe. They're hand wash only. That's the only downfall, but I really do like having the reusable bags so that I'm not throwing away some of these Ziploc bags. So I'm going to add in probably about a cup of cheddar and a cup of mozzarella. I will have these linked in my Amazon store as well as this. And I've gotten questions on whether or not I notice a difference in the flavor of the cheese, or I can't remember what somebody else said. But I don't notice a difference in the flavor. I just kind of shred it as I need it. I buy it in the 32-ounce blocks. I don't shred it until the other cheese that's in my fridge is gone. And then we'll have cheese, and I don't have to worry about shredding cheese every time that I need it. The only downfall is sometimes it will start to clump together, but that doesn't really bother me because I'm not using it cold most of the time. Most of the time I'm melting it in something that I'm making. So not a big deal to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the cheese to this and get it all mixed up. Okay, this is definitely not the most appetizing looking meal, and it's too hot for me to really taste right now, but I will make sure I leave a note on the screen. I was going to make like some green beans or something to go with this, but honestly, I just don't feel like it. That's why I'm making this tonight, because I just wanted something quick and easy. So it's just gonna be this. I mean, there's corn in it, so there's a vegetable, but that is going to be our dinner. Hopefully it's good. What did you think of dinner?
It was delicious.
Delicious?
Yes, look at my bowl.
Look at your bowl.
Yes.
She ate it all. And then they both asked for it for lunch tomorrow, right?
No, I didn't.
Oh, just Elijah did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Make sure you cook it.
Make sure you cook it.
Yes.
You're telling the people that?
Yes.
Say, try this recipe.
It's so good. Yeah, it's so good.
It is Wednesday, and tonight for dinner I am making this Rotel chicken pasta. This came from Amanda over at Mom's Messy Kitchen. She made it last week or the week before. I will have it linked down below so you guys can check out the ingredients. I'm just gonna do like a sped up me cooking it because she did a whole like step-by-step. But I have this chicken, the shredded chicken from the other night when we had burritos. So I'm going to use some of that, and then whatever we don't use, I'm just gonna pop in the freezer and use it for another meal. But I've got butter in there. I just cooked a whole box of ziti noodles, so it's in the sink. Only using the one pan. About to add some garlic. Then we've got cream of chicken, some corn, Mexi corn, and then I'm also gonna throw in the rest of the corn that I didn't use the other night in that Instant Pot meal. I didn't use the whole can, so I'm going to use this too, just to use it up. And then we've got black beans left over from burrito night. Going to throw those in there. We've got milk and sour cream. Did I say cream of chicken? And then, of course, cheese. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this all together in here. And then I'm going to dump it in this casserole dish and bake it on 375 for like 20 minutes. I almost forgot the dang Rotel. It's named after Rotel, and I almost forgot to add in the Rotel. Rotel chicken pasta is out of the oven. Here are our bowls, and that is going to be dinner for tonight. Make sure you check out Amanda's video down below so you can see exactly how she made this and I made this. That is going to be dinner for Wednesday.
Bye.
It is Thursday, and tonight for dinner I am trying a recipe that is partially from Hellofresh, at least inspired by Hellofresh. I was browsing their website for recipes again, and I found this honey sriracha pork tenderloin. It sounded really good. So they had it served with cilantro lime rice and some sesame carrots. But I'm just going to do carrots with salt and pepper and garlic powder and olive oil and roast them. And then I am going to do the pork exactly how they did it. And I am going to do cilantro lime rice. But I've been preferring to make cilantro lime rice, or just rice, I mean, in my Instant Pot. I haven't tried cilantro lime rice, but I found this recipe. I will have it linked down below for you guys. And for that, I've got 2 cups of rice in here. I did rinse it already. And then it calls for vegetable broth. But I just did 2 cups of water with some chicken bouillon. And then I'm also going to add in 3/4 of a cup of water. And then we're going to need some oil. And then I went ahead and juiced some lime because we're going to need 3 tablespoons total. But I'm going to go ahead and add 2 in when this cooks. And then I went ahead and zested one of those limes. So that's in here at the bottom. Probably can't really tell because of all the green cilantro on top. I also cut up some cilantro. So the rest of the lime juice and that cilantro and some salt will go in at the end after the rice has cooked. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started. It says we're going to use the rice button on the pressure cooker, so it will cook for 12 minutes, and then we will let it sit for 5, and then we will do a quick release after that, and then fluff it with a fork and add in the rest of our ingredients. Alright, here is my rice. It just got done in the Instant Pot. The lighting is better over here, so I just removed the inner pot. I haven't even fluffed it yet, so I'm going to fluff it. I'm going to add in the rest of my lime juice and my cilantro and lemon zest and some salt, and then the rice will be done. For my carrots, I'm going to be peeling them and then I will slice them. I have preheated my oven to 425 degrees and I'm going to roast these for 25 to 30 minutes with some olive oil, salt, pepper, and garlic powder on them. I really thought that I just was recording, and I wasn't. So, to this pork tenderloin, I patted it dry with paper towels, and then I seasoned it on both sides with some pepper, salt, onion powder, and garlic powder. Now I'm about to throw it in my pan with some oil and sear it on all sides, and then it's going to go in the oven. I really cannot believe that I just forgot to press record. I turned the camera on, but I didn't press record. Yeah, that happened. In the pan that I seared the pork in, I'm going to be making this honey sriracha sauce that's going to go on top once it gets done cooking. So for that, I am adding in 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, 2 tablespoons of butter, and I've got this over medium-high heat. And then the recipe called for like regular ginger, but I did half a teaspoon of ground ginger. I'm doing 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon, 4 teaspoons of honey, and 1/4 cup of water. And I'm going to simmer that until it's slightly reduced. Once it's reduced, I'm going to remove it from the heat, stir in 2 more tablespoons of butter, some of that sriracha, as much as you want to give it kind of a kick. If you don't like it too spicy, just do a little bit, and some salt and pepper. Okay, so the pork is done. And I decided I'm actually going to take the sauce that we made and drizzle it over the top and put this back in there for a few minutes. I might end up broiling it. I'm not sure yet. I still have it on 425. And I'm just going to stick it in there for 5 and see what it looks like. And then I might turn it to broil. We will see. the Hellofresh directions just said to drizzle it over this like this, but I feel like it'll be better if it kind of cooks onto it for a few minutes. So that is what I'm going to do. Okay, here is the pork. I did not end up broiling it. I just cooked it for another 5 minutes on 425. So here are our plates. This one is Andy's, Lily's, and Elijah's, and I will of course cut up their pork. And we have plenty of pork to have some more or for leftovers. And here is mine. But that is going to be dinner for Thursday, and that is going to wrap up another week of what's for dinner. If you're new here and you haven't already, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button down below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye! Real quick before we end this video, I wanted to give y'all a little update on this honey sriracha pork tenderloin. The sauce that went on that pork was so good. I feel like it'd be good on chicken or something too. It was just really good. It was like sweet and a little bit spicy, and of course you can make it not spicy and just like leave out the sriracha if you wanted to, or make it even more spicy and add more sriracha, but that was so good. And then the cilantro lime rice was really good as well. I feel like maybe it didn't need 3 tablespoons of lime juice. It was a little bit too limey, so maybe more like 2 tablespoons would have been better. Or maybe like test it and see how much you want. If you like a little lime, maybe you would have liked it. I mean, we ate it. We thought it was still good, but Elijah did make a sour face the whole time he was eating it, like he was eating a warhead or something. But it was really good. Next time I would just probably cut back on the lime juice.